You're listening to Change Your POV Podcast, episode 122. Are they reaching out to their iPhone or Android and thumbing through Facebook and happen to stumble across somebody doing 22 push-ups and saying, oh shit, I really shouldn't be doing this because there's some guys out there that are doing push-ups for me? Like, I don't
Yeah.
really you know what I mean? Like,
I do understand, and we know what it's for.
Welcome to Change Your POV Podcast, helping you navigate transitions in your life like entering and exiting college or the military, changing jobs or careers, and providing you with the coaching and mentorship needed to help you advance in your personal or professional life. Sometimes all you need is to change your point of view. Now, here's your host, Eddie Lazary.
all right, folks, welcome to Change Your POV Podcast. I am your host, Eddie Lazary.
And I am your other host, Bennett Tanton.
And today is Attack Friday, and Attack is an acronym that we've created that stands for
Actionable tips, tricks, and coachable knowledge.
And today we are going to talk about the infamous 22 push-ups a day to bring awareness to the 22 veteran suicides a day. And I hear that number going up, going down. I'm not entirely sure, but everybody seems to be stuck on 22. But
it's actually gone down technically, but yeah, whatever. I always thought the number was kind of low anyway, so it's probably,
And we'll get into that here in a minute. But first, I would like to say thank you to this week's sponsor, Mountain Up. Mountain Up, or 10th Mountain Apparel, we call them Mountain Up here at Change Your POV, is a premier military clothing and apparel store that sells pretty much anything you can imagine for the veteran and or active service member in your life. And don't forget, folks, Christmas is right around the corner. You've got stockings to fill. You've got packages to put under the tree. Why not head on over to changeyourpov.com/mountain up and check out everything that they've got going on. What are some things that are on that site that you find interesting there, Bennett?
They've got some man cave stuff, and I think it's actually under the man cave tab. But there would the things that I've got, and I got a Marine Corps one and a 87th Infantry Regiment one, kind of like the emblem. So it's a Marine Corps emblem carved out of wood. And then the other one is the 87th Infantry Regiment, also carved out of wood. They have a ton of different ones. They're handmade by a veteran. Just really cool stuff.
So is it like a thing you put on the wall?
Yeah, it's a wall hanging.
Oh, nice. Cool. How big is it?
They're probably 9 or 10 inches.
Oh, so it's good. It's good size.
Yeah,
then.
it's decent size. It's definitely something to put on a man cave wall, or maybe even like an office or something like that, man.
That's cool.
Really cool. And then auto medals. I think the auto medals are really awesome too. And those are, again, they have their own tab.
Yeah.
So
that's very cool. So head on over to changeyourpov.com/mountain up and check out everything they've got over there. And at checkout, enter the promo code GOOD10, GOOD10, for your 10% off. All right, man, let's get into this. "22 veteran suicides a day is essentially the issue, and I wanted to talk about that for this week's Attack episode because, and again, I want to touch on this lightly without offending anybody, but I see a lot of people doing the 22 push-ups a day. Now, I know personally a lot of guys that have done this 22 push-ups a day, and then of course there's a lot of people on social media, particularly Facebook, that are doing this that I don't know. And on one hand, I commend the idea behind this, bringing awareness to veteran suicide. I commend that. I think that there's some level of good job, pat on the back kind of a thing there. But on the other hand, I have to ask myself, and I have several times, like, what is this really doing? Is this even really helping? Because I'm putting myself into the boots of the distraught veteran that's sitting on the edge of his bed at 2:00 in the morning, out maybe a pint of Jack Daniels down, and maybe a pint's too much, but whatever. And they're playing around with their revolver in their hand, and they're looking at swallowing the barrel of the revolver. I mean, at that moment in their life, at their lowest point in their life, are they reaching out to their iPhone or Android and thumbing through Facebook and happen to stumble across somebody doing 22 push-ups and saying, "Oh shit, I really shouldn't be doing this because there's some guys out there that are doing push-ups for me"? Like, I don't really
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like,
I do understand, and we know what it's for.
yeah, it's to bring awareness, but who's it bringing awareness to? I don't get it.
I think unfortunately, I think this is it. Everyone's trying to jump on this ALS bandwagon, the ice bucket
challenge. Yes, you're right. Absolutely.
So what happens is that especially with the veteran community, and something like this is we're preaching to the choir, and we're not really. Veterans don't even know what to do, let alone civilians.
Right.
So it's, yes. Will it raise awareness for, if it raises awareness for one person, I guess it's worth it. But there's so many other things that you could be doing that are better.
Yes. And that's
basically what we're saying.
And that's what we're talking about.
Or in conjunction with.
Right. So like again, I kind of tap danced around this topic for a while. Wanted to talk about this for some time now, but I'm like, I don't want to
we've talked about it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my thing is okay, so you do this challenge. Isn't the whole point to raise awareness amongst everyone, right? So everyone that I see doing it is a veteran themselves. Right. Why aren't non-veterans doing it? I mean, and I'm not saying that they're not. I don't know. I'm not able to monitor all of the internet. Right. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
I'm just telling you that what I see is mainly veterans. I can't name one non-veteran, and I have 5,000 Facebook friends.
Mm-hmm. I'm
almost maxed out.
Yeah.
And a full 4,000 of them are non-veterans.
Right. But you're not seeing any.
But I haven't seen one of them do a 22 push-up a day challenge. I haven't seen one non-veteran.
Right.
I'm just saying.
And that's the thing is, I think bringing awareness is, I guess, important, right? But it's like breast cancer awareness. Everybody's aware of it, but just being aware of it doesn't change it, does it?
No. So what do you do?
Yes. And that's what we're going to talk about. We've come up with 22 things that you can do in addition to and we're not saying stop your 22 push-ups a day. I think it's more than anything. I think the greatest benefit of that, aside from awareness, is you're just getting some exercise. So
yeah. But if you're going to do it and you're going to challenge people to do it, challenge people that, are influential within your network. Challenge people that, aren't veterans. Challenge people that have huge networks that, whatever, and have them do that challenge. Even if you really want to do that and make a difference with the 22 push-up a day, talk to them offline. Get it hooked up. Don't just call them out on Facebook, because half the people that get called out on Facebook are like, they probably don't even see it.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm saying, put a little effort and thought into it if that's what you want to do. Because I'll tell you, I haven't done it.
No, I haven't either.
I haven't asked anyone else to either.
No, me neither. And so this is what I recommend. Do your challenge. If you get challenged, or if you want to challenge somebody else, fine. Do your push-ups. But this is our challenge to you. This is our challenge. And that is, along with your 22 push-ups a day, pick one of these 22 things that we're about to talk about here and do one of those along with your push-ups. And whoever you challenge to do the 22 push-ups a day, tell them to listen to this show and do their 22 push-ups a day and pick one of the 22 things that we recommend that will actually make a difference in veteran suicide, and have them do the push-ups and one of these. You only have to do one. I mean, if you want to do more than one, great. But we gave you 22 options, and this isn't an all-exhaustive list. I'm sure the list of things you could do to make a difference is much greater than 22. But here are 22 that we came up with, and we're going to name each of them and talk about them a little bit. And then at the end, that's our challenge to you. We'll put the list of these 22 things in the show notes page for this episode, and there we go. So
these are actionable tips, tricks, and coachable knowledge.
That's right.
To go put out onto the veteran community as well as the community at large, veteran and non-veteran.
And we didn't put these in any particular hierarchical order, like 1 to 22 or anything like that. These are in no particular order. They're just in the order in which we came up with them. So let's start this out. Number 1, reach out to one of your buddies once a week. And better yet, instead of just one of your buddies, I think, Brennett, you were talking about creating a buddy list of between 5 and 10. Can you explain this?
Yeah, so take 5 or 10 names of guys that you are in contact with, obviously, or even that veteran, that guy that you were friends with back in, 2004, and he got out of the Army, and you haven't seen him since. Track him down, find him, whatever. Make a buddy list. Take your team that you deployed with, the team that you were standing shoulder to shoulder with there in Iraq or Afghanistan or wherever, Djibouti, Bosnia, Vietnam, whatever. Because I'm not talking just to, post 9/11 vets. I'm talking to all vets. Mm-hmm. And put a list together and set it up, man. Put it up in a calendar, set it up where you reach out to those guys at least once a week and just do a buddy check. Do a check and see how they're doing.
Now, how do you recommend, what are different ways they could reach out?
I mean, you could call them, you could email them, you could Facebook message them. You could create a group on Facebook that you're all a part of, the whatever, I don't know, come up with a name, or just call a buddy Facebook group and make it a secret group and only you guys are in there. So if you guys want to just, one guy can go in, hit buddy check, and it'll disperse to everybody. And it's at least a ping, depending on whether or not you use Facebook or not. There's a million different ways that you can do it.
Yeah.
But anyway, text, freaking
Facebook
Morse code. Yeah. I don't know.
They got whatever. Facebook Messenger, phone text, group text, Facebook pages,
anything. Just set up or tag them on local guys. Yeah. Get together once a week and have coffee.
Yeah, man.
On Saturday morning.
And does this?
Man, I see it. Yeah. I see it all over the place. I see it all the time. There's a place here where I actually took you to breakfast there, Eddie.
Yeah, man, that was awesome.
The All American Diner. There's guys that get together every once a week or at least once a month.
Yeah, that was. that was a small diner, and we both had our Mountain Up hats on, our veteran hats. And I had to go to the bathroom, and I walked through the gauntlet. I mean, that place was packed too, man, packed. Yeah. And I think by the time I got to the bathroom and back, I probably had 10 guys kind of just give me the old head nod, kind of like that, that recognition between veterans, like, I served, I recognize that you serve, how you doing? And a couple of guys shook my hand. I mean, it's not, I mean, I didn't even talk to anybody, but in
almost every community has a place like that.
Yeah, man. And that was really, really cool. And so anytime I happen to be up there in your neck of the woods, we're definitely going to go there for breakfast.
Besides, I just feel like sometimes, a lot of times, and you know what, we'll get into this later. So let's move.
All right. Number 2, find your best friend, what we're calling your battle buddy, and take the Spartan Pledge. And Bennett, could you talk to us about what the Spartan Pledge is?
Okay. So the Spartan Pledge was actually started in conjunction with the with the Gallant Few, sorry, which is Carl Monger's oh God, what do you call it? A nonprofit.
Yeah.
It's Gallant Few. You can find it at gallantfew.com or Oregon. I'm not positive on which one it is, but there's this thing that him and Boone Cutler came up with called the Spartan Pledge. And literally what it is you pledge to one another, your battle buddy, that you will not take your own life by your own hand until I talk to my battle buddy first. My mission is to find a mission to help my warfighter family, you know? So you can go to either descendantsofsparta.com or just go type in on Facebook, type in the Spartan Pledge and it'll show up the book, or not the book. Man, I can't talk all of a sudden.
The pledge.
The pledge will show up. Okay.
Right. And everything we're talking about will be in the show notes page for this episode as well. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
But this is just a way where you basically make a pledge to, you know, your battle buddy, that if you have these, you know, suicidal ideation, that you will reach out to this guy before you do anything.
Yeah, and you don't have to know that your battle buddy has suicidal tendencies. You could just assume that every veteran has been in that place in their life where they're like, this shit sucks, right? And just reach out to your battle buddy and say, hey man, I really would like you and I to take this pledge together. Oh, by the way, we're going to do 22 push-ups a day also, but I really want you to take this pledge with me. That's making a true difference. And you get on the website, you take the pledge, and it's a bond.
And it's not just something. You know, you're actually pledging this. It's not just words.
Yeah, it's a contract.
It's a contract that you're making with your buddy.
Yeah, man.
You know?
Yeah.
Against taking your own life. You know.
Number 3, invite your buddies to an event. Now, that could be anything from a Memorial Day parade to a Veterans Day event to, you know, even getting together with some of your buddies to go visit the cemetery and visit the gravestone of somebody that you lost in some conflict around the world, right? You can go to the veterans home and visit somebody there, or you can go to, like, this coming weekend, Bennett, you and I are attending an event down in Mohegan Sun in Connecticut called Veteran Rocks, and we're going to have a booth there set up for Warrior Hall, but it's going to be a concert. It's just going to be a collective or a collaborative event with hopefully thousands of veterans come together and just, you know, enjoy an event.
And they have a like an employment expo before, you know, during the day on Friday, which is Veterans Day. Mm-hmm. So they have like an employment expo. They've got a bunch of veteran service organizations like Warrior Hall getting together and, you know, having, you know, just talking to other vets, man.
Yeah.
And then they also have a whole bunch of things. You can check that out at vetsrock.info. I mean, the expo, the concert, then at, you know, from 6 to 11 is a concert. And this year it's going to be, which we're going to talk about this in a, you know, this will probably come out after, but
no,
you know,
this episode is actually coming out the day of Friday, the day of. This will be coming out.
So if you're listening to this and you didn't know about it, go check it out.
Yeah,
seriously. Man. And you're within driving distance. I mean, it's, now the concert's not free or anything, but the tickets are reasonable.
Yep.
And get together with another buddy and go and you know, it's Dropkick Murphys, Madison Rising, and Godsmack.
Hell yeah, that's a party.
Those are 3 of the main headliners.
Yeah, man.
And yeah, man. And if you are unemployed or whatever, go check out the employer expo and then the veteran service expo as well. Basically, they've got, I don't know, probably 3 dozen different veterans charities that are going to be there. So
awesome.
Yeah, man.
Number 4, attend networking events. Now, I am actually attending a networking event that's part of my the university that I attended. Southern New Hampshire University puts on an annual veteran networking dinner every year, and that is actually happening tomorrow, November 7th, and I will be there giving an hour-long workshop on networking, and it's titled Networking for Those That Hate Networking. And then immediately following the hour-long network, we are going into a dinner, and there will be, 24 different companies will be represented along with the veterans that are attending. And it's just a way to expand our networks and get to know one another a little bit better and just build a community. And there's networking events like this that are centric to veterans all over the place. Just go on to Google and type in veteran networking events and then type in comma, then your city or near me or something like that. And I guarantee you there will be something somewhere within driving distance that you can attend.
For sure.
And they may be formal. They might be, not as formal. Could be just some small meetup somewhere or whatever. But just expanding your network of other veterans really does help in curbing this war on veteran suicide, for sure.
And what this is about, guys, is really stepping outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, nothing's going to happen unless you do that.
Right.
Nothing's going to just, it does from time to time, but most of the time we don't have experience with stuff just falling into our laps.
Right.
If you don't make it happen, it's not going to happen. So if you want to feel better, if you want to connect with like-minded individuals that have served in uniform, go find them. Because if you don't, they're not just going to fucking pop up.
And it hit me, Bennett. I think one of the reasons why people are so drawn to this 22 push-ups a day is because they want to help, and they don't know any other ways besides the whole 22 push-ups a day thing to do it. Of course.
Right? Or, it's also easy.
It is. It is easy.
Easy.
Yeah, let's face it. 22 push-ups,
It's you can just do it, especially if you work out. You're just going to do it anyway.
Right.
So I'm saying step out. It's not really a far, cry unless you, had your arm taken from you and you're doing one arm push-ups. It's
right.
Or you're injured. I get it. But let's not split hairs here, folks. And don't get all butt hurt because this is what we're talking about. Just step outside your comfort zone.
Right.
Trust me, it will pay dividends.
You need a little skin in the game. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Nothing worth doing in this life is going to be easy, right? Yeah. What I found is the things that are most challenging in this world also are the most rewarding in the end.
Correct.
Number 5, warrior link-ups. Talk to us about that, Bennett.
So warrior link-ups are kind of the same. It's the same concept. But warrior link-ups are something that we put together with Warrior Hall, and it's an actual structured networking event. So basically the same concept. And frankly, if you're interested in putting one together in your local area, give me a call.
Cool.
Give me whatever. I'll send you the thing. It's kind of what it's about is actually creating a network in as big an area as we can, nationwide, hopefully at some point, a network of link ups that communicate. You know what I mean? It's about bringing veterans together. That's what it's about, and doing things. And we might have events where we actually bring in speakers or just, get together and do family stuff. It's about connectedness within the veterans community, period. So you can check it out at warriorhall.org, and that's where you can get a hold of me as well. And it's not, I've had a couple events myself already. It's nothing that's, widespread, but it's really simple and easy, which doesn't happen very often.
Right.
Usually simple things aren't necessarily easy. So it's simple and easy to get started and to get involved with. So
yeah, man. if you want there to be change in this world, sometimes you have to be the change. Make something happen.
Absolutely.
And it's easy. Anyone that's interested in creating a warrior link up in your area, even if you've got 1 or 2 people that attend, you
don't need to do it through us.
No.
Just do it.
Yep, do it. But if you don't know how and you want some structure, like, step by step, here's how you would do it, then look up Bennett on warriorhall.org, and we've got basically a template just for you, and you can just follow the template.
Places to do it. I could find, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could hook you up with the places to actually, for you guys to meet, and those type of things. So
yeah, man, it's cool. Number 6, reunions, and I bring this up because a bunch of guys that I served with in Iraq several years ago, they created an annual reunion event, and I can't go this year because it's actually the same weekend that that we're doing all of the Spartan race this week, next weekend, and Vet Rocks. So I can't attend the reunion, but I hear a lot about just the great times that people have, not just my guys, but anybody that served with one another. They get together and they have these reunions, and they shoot the shit. They come together, they laugh, they cry, they drink, they whatever it is, and it just continues that camaraderie that we had when we served in uniform, and it just continues on, for years afterwards. And I think this is something that the Vietnam veterans really do well. They do a lot of motorcycle rides, and they do a lot of Vietnam get-togethers and link-ups and things like that, because they figured it out. They figured out that, hey, man, we need each other. And that's really, at the end of the day, what this is all about. It's about coming together because we still need one another. We needed each other when we wore the uniform. We need each other even more now that we are no longer in uniform. And it's just it's a great time to come together. So plan and or attend your own reunion, even if it's 1 or 2 buddies, and grow it from year over year or whatever frequency you want to do it. But that's just a way that you can make a difference in somebody. Because here's the thing, right? You plan a reunion, maybe it's an annual reunion, and somebody out there has that on their calendar. Now, I've got a reunion with my buddies 9 months from now. It's on their calendar. It's something they can look forward to. Now, all of a sudden, they reach a rough part in their life, and they are really down in the dumps. And then they start to play around with that revolver in their lap at the edge of their bed. You know what? They may think about that event on their calendar, and they may realize that they could be letting the rest of the guys that are going to that reunion down. That might be the difference. That might be all that it takes to change somebody's perspective on suicide and committing suicide. So you would be amazed. It doesn't take a lot to trigger somebody into suicide, but it doesn't take a whole lot to trigger somebody out of those thoughts either. You know what I mean?
Yep.
We know guys that literally were in that position. They almost took their own life, and they looked over at their dog, and a thought ran through their head: if I were to kill myself right now, who would feed my dog? And that was enough, right? That was our buddy Jay. That was enough for him to change his mind about killing himself. Just the thought of, oh my God, if I do this, who's going to feed my dog? So his dog saved his life just through that one simple thought. And having something on the calendar could be that one simple thought that could change somebody's perspective on suicide for sure. Number 7, Facebook groups. Now, we are members of a multitude of them, but how can this impact those that might be interested or thinking about suicide, Bennett?
Well, I mean, again, it's just another way to connect. I think a lot more people are comfortable with it because it's not face to face. But again, it's still a way to see what's going on in the world. And maybe it'll be that spark that gets somebody to go out and get out of their comfort zone.
Yeah. I mean, you and I met through a Facebook group.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, I mean, it is what you make of it. And, you get on there in certain Facebook groups, they put, guys are having issues. They put alerts on there like, yeah, man, I need to talk to somebody.
Right.
Or you never know. you could be in the right place at the right time.
Yep.
And if you're feeling down, put it out there. And I'm pretty sure somebody would, if you don't want to type, I'm sure that they would call. Sky's the limit, man, really. And again, it's about just stepping outside, drop the ego, y'all. It's what it comes down to is, you know what? You're not too cool for school. You're not too cool to, and you all know exactly what I'm talking about. You get out there and you kind of, that's gay. Fuck that. It's stupid. Blah, blah, blah. Well, then you're just going to be miserable in your house by yourself.
Right. Yep. That's right, man.
So, I mean, it's up to you. And if you want to be that guy, then by all means be that guy. But I'm sorry, it's no one else's fault but your own at that point, period.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep. Speaking truth, man. I'm so tired of everybody kind of pussyfooting around that
Just
idea.
glossing over it.
Yeah. And nobody wants to say it because they're like, oh, no, we can't. No. Like, no. Like, you know what? Quit being a victim. Make a difference.
You're not the problem. The problem is unequivocally, you can't cut it any other way. The problem is 50% of yours.
Yeah.
Period. You are 50% of every equation that you step into. Sometimes you're 100%. But if you're pointing the finger at somebody else, you're still 50% of that equation.
Right.
So maybe your actions brought upon their reaction.
So this is amazing to me, Bennett, right? Think about the military. You were both in the Marines and the Army, and let me ask you some questions here, and you just give me some short answers. One, have you ever been able to go to the field and secure an objective by yourself?
No.
Have you ever been able to successfully fight in a foxhole by yourself?
No.
Have you ever been able to prepare a Humvee or a section of trucks to go to the National Training Center for your month-long in-the-box training by yourself?
No.
The list of questions can go on and on and on. The answer is always going to be no. Everything we did in the military, you just never did by yourself. You couldn't do it by yourself. And if you look at military terms, we have great terms that describe things that we can't do ourselves. And it's called teams, squads, platoons, sections, battle buddies. I mean, and you're in MOP 4, you can't even take a shit by yourself, can you? And not if you're doing it right?
So this also segues into life.
Yeah,
not just it segues into life as a civilian.
So we spend all of our time in the military, and we don't do anything by ourselves. It's always part of some type of a team, all the way down to the lowest. I mean, I remember being in the military. I couldn't even go when I was at NTC, and I was a Joe or a boot, as you Marine folks call them. I couldn't even go to the head without having my battle buddy with me, right? I mean, and
right.
So. And then we get out of the military, and all of a sudden we think we can do all this shit on our own. I don't understand the logic. We couldn't do anything on our own when we were in. What makes us think we can do this shit on our own when we're out?
It's such a love-hate relationship because you hate the structure behind it all.
Right. And
you hate the fact that you've got people telling you what to do.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, guys and gals, that's life.
It is.
Now, there are varying severities of it. If you take control of your life, less people are going to tell you what to do. But this is a theme that I see over and over and over again, literally on a daily basis, because of what I do. Mm-hmm. Okay, you literally there's literally thousands, hundreds of thousands of veterans that literally want you to hold their hand.
Tell me what.
Why
to do.
is that? Why is that, though? Why is that? Now, we're getting into the psychology of all this. Why is that? Because their entire adult life, they've had somebody telling them what to do, especially in the military. Sergeant freaking Lazary told you what to do, told you how to take a piss, told you how to freaking eat your food, told you how to do all this, and all of a sudden it's not there. Again, it all comes hand in hand. We can't do it alone. So people go to the VA and they're just like, well, what the fuck? They're supposed to freaking take care of me. Well, again, it's you are part of a care team. You're 50% of that equation.
Right.
So if you roll in with a chip on your shoulder and a gigantic ego, and here's the thing. I say that, and again, I can already hear the people getting all butthurt and all, but they, they told me this and they told me that, and every situation's different, but analyze your situation, okay? There's probably a reason things are messed up, and it's about education. That's the biggest key here, folks. Educate yourself on the way the system works. Period. The VA is a system. It's an imperfect one at that. But it's a system. Just like getting shit done, trying to clear from the military is a freaking nightmare.
Hell yes, it is.
We all know this. The VA is the same thing. It is the largest healthcare system in the world. Let alone our country, the world. It's got so many moving parts. Half of them are bound to be broken, just like the Humvee that you drove in freaking wherever. The glow plugs went out. The freaking tires freaking going flat. It's because it has to be. You have to work it. Mm-hmm. And if you don't work it, you have to work it. You have to do it. If you need an appointment, you have to follow up. You have to push this thing. You have to get it done. If you want your freaking disability check and it's not showing up, you have to do it. Don't just take, oh, well, we can't do anything for you, sir, as an answer. Go out there and get it fixed now. You can do that without being a fucking raging asshole as well. And if you do that, I almost guarantee it's the old adage, put the honey pot out. You get more with honey than you do with vinegar. It's common sense, folks. It's not going to work in every single situation. So don't take it as, the word of whatever. I'm just saying, it's right. I'm right. So just go out there and be actionable about it. And do it.
Ownership, accountability.
Ownership. And yeah, I mean, if you have to pay your bills and you don't have the money, what do? You go out and find the money somehow. Mm-hmm. What you have to do is, or you become homeless, or you don't have lights. I mean, it's really that simple. If you're hungry, you go find something to eat.
Yep.
You don't need somebody to hold your hand to do that. So in turn, I'm saying if you have an issue, you can fix it. You just have to do it. You have to do it. Because nobody else is going to hold your hand. I'll hold your hand. I won't hold it literally, but I will guide you. I'll help you, but I'm not going to do it for you. So yeah, I don't want to get way off on a rant. I'm on a rant now, but I don't want to get too far out. And because, these are the things that nobody else is saying though.
Yeah, you're right, man.
Everyone wants to bitch about the VA. Everyone wants to bitch about, Wounded Warrior Project. Everyone wants to bitch about that. There's nobody helping. Nobody cares. Nobody does whatever. Nobody. But yet they won't help themselves.
Right. Exactly. That's the problem.
The key is you have to do it. You can come at me. I don't care. Come at me and argue this with me. I will win. Do you understand? I'm right. There you go.
Number 8, mastermind groups. Find a mastermind group. Most of these are, well, I'm not going to say most. Some are in-person mastermind groups like meetups. The others are online. I belong to an online mastermind group, and there's a couple guys in there that are veterans. Most are not. But I find it valuable to be able to talk to both veterans and non-veterans. We meet on a weekly basis, and we talk about business and strategy and what can I do to progress this thought that I have or this idea. And it could be about anything. These mastermind groups talk about pretty much anything you want to talk about. If you want to join a mastermind group to talk about underwater basket weaving, I'm sure that there's a group out there that exists like that. But the whole point of it is I meet with these folks on a weekly basis. It's on my calendar. And I know it's where people can listen to what I have to say and be not judgmental. They're non-judgmental, but they are candid. And a lot of times
Objective.
Yes, I want people in my life that will give it to me straight, that don't beat around the bush and tell me, oh yeah, that looks great, when I know deep down inside it probably doesn't. And I'm looking for that candid feedback.
Us as veterans need that shit.
We do need that shit.
And you know what, guys? That's part of the thing that you're running from. But I'm telling you, if you embrace it again.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's right.
Let somebody call you out and call you a dirtbag because you're not doing something and see what happens. Yeah, you'll get pissed,
Yeah.
But you'll also know that they're speaking truth at you,
Right?
Because they won't sugarcoat it when they freaking call you out.
Yep, that's right. Number 9, become a member of a veteran nonprofit board. Bennett and I are both. Well, it's not official yet. We're in the process of it with all the legal documentation and paperwork and everything for the nonprofit 501c3. But our good friend Dan that came on the show, I forget what episode number it is. I'll have it in the links of the show. But he's got a nonprofit organization called
Homefront Fishing.
Homefront Fishing. And he's out of Texas, and he takes veterans out on the boat to go fishing, and he also brings a counselor out there with them, and the veteran can talk or not talk or whatever, but it's just a very easy, comfortable, relaxing environment where if you want to talk about certain things, you can, and it's completely confidential, and it gets you out of the psychiatrist or the counselor, psychologist's office, and get you out into nature, breathing oxygen and catching fish. So it's just an excellent nonprofit organization that Bennett and I are both board members of. And, we didn't ask to be members of the board. We were asked to join and be members of the board, and we both agreed to do something like that. And so, but you know what? There are plenty of veteran nonprofit organizations out there that are looking for board members, that are looking for someone to be part of the team to kind of help, spearhead initiatives.
Bring something to the table.
Bring something to the table, yeah. So that's our number 9. Become a member of a veteran nonprofit board. Get involved. Number 10, join a veteran nonprofit team. Like maybe you don't want to go as far as actually joining a board, but you know what? You can join a team. There's all kinds of great veteran nonprofit teams out there, like Red, White, and Blue. Bennett, you can list a few.
Yeah, Team Rubicon, Mission Continues, the 6th Branch, Sheepdog Impact Assistance. Now, these are all veteran organizations that repurpose veterans. Mm-hmm. You can get out there and do service stuff with them, like help a veteran, help build like a wheelchair ramp for a veteran that needs a new wheelchair ramp built, or there's all kinds of stuff. Those are kind of a service organization type part where they repurpose veterans. So you don't even have to get involved in that necessarily. I mean, you can go volunteer at your local VA, man.
Yeah.
It's really that simple.
So why is joining these veteran nonprofit teams, what does that have to do with suicide awareness / prevention?
Well, because a lot of them deal with suicide prevention and awareness directly, number 1. And number 2, it is that camaraderie thing again.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard. It's hard to be sad when you're being useful, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've been saying that forever. You just put it back in my head.
Yeah.
And I write blog posts, do podcasts about it.
Yeah.
It's hard to be sad when you're being useful.
Yeah. Number 11.
It really is.
Number 11, VFW and or the Legion. And there might be other smaller groups out there that are veteran-centric groups like the VFW or Legion, but those are the 2 that are most recognizable by the veteran community. And they do some really good stuff. You know what I'm saying?
And they've kind of been poo-pooed a lot as of late because they haven't gotten with the times. They're basically bingo or drinking halls as they're perceived. And unfortunately, again, it's another situation where you as a younger veteran, if you are, or a, more, somebody that wants something different, go in and change it from the inside.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Go become a member. Go become an active member. Go to the board meetings. Talk to these guys. Propose things that are going to help the post grow and do more, things that are more new than just sitting and playing bingo, because I don't want to go play bingo.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
come up and spearhead other initiatives that the Legion or the VFW can do. There
Yeah,
you
man.
go.
Yep. Number 12, find other veterans and shake their hand. You're like, whoa, that's a novel idea. I go through the mall, or I walk through Walmart or Target or wherever I'm at. I often wear my veterans hat. Sometimes I don't, but I often do. But I see other veterans that are wearing their hat, and I see guys wearing, Navy hats and Marine Corps hats and Army hats and Air Force hats, and they're all types of ages. And I just walk up and shake their hand. I say, hey, thank you for your service. I know it sounds very cliche, but man, I've been in some pretty extensive conversation with some of these veterans, and I've had some veterans just break down and give me a hug, and tears come to their eyes, and they're like, I'm really, excited to talk to the younger generation, the younger veterans coming up, and we share stories. And here we are standing in the middle of Walmart, and I think we were in the produce section, and we're just talking about our war stories, basically. And I know at the end of the day, I was uplifted. I felt good when I walked out of that store that day. And I know that that Vietnam veteran that I was speaking with, also was uplifted. And folks, we're talking about 22 suicides a day. The large majority of those that are committing suicide, the largest contributor to those numbers isn't the GWAT veterans. It's the Vietnam veterans, right?
For sure. I mean, it comes down to the point where that might be the only real conversation that veteran has that day.
Yep, you're right.
And because they're not going to step outside their comfort zone.
Mm-mm.
How many times I know I do it. I'm over it now, but I know for years I was so uncomfortable when someone would say thank you for your service.
Yeah.
It's old hat now, but the bottom line is that we need that.
Mm-hmm. We do.
And those guys especially. I mean, these guys got spit on and protested against. Baby killer, this, that, and the other thing, man. I mean, they paved the way for the GWAT veterans. And unfortunately, the GWAT, I'm not saying unfortunately, I mean, everyone's deserving, but a veteran's a veteran's a veteran.
Mm-hmm.
And they paved the way for us GWAT veterans. How many times have you been to a veteran, let's just say your guys come in from being deployed, right? And you're getting off at an airport or whatever. Mm-hmm. And who's there to greet you?
Vietnam veterans.
Freaking mostly Vietnam veterans.
Yep.
Why? Because they know what it's like.
Yeah, you're right.
So show a little fucking respect.
Yep.
And give them a little attaboy as well.
That's
and if
right.
you do that, I'm telling you, that these guys are killing themselves at record numbers because they're coming to the end and they go, oh my God. And it's not every one of them, but it's a lot of guys are. How many times have they been divorced? How many, you know what I mean? Their life just didn't turn out the way that they had anticipated.
Yep.
And they frankly got shit upon for a long time.
And unfortunately, a lot of these guys, they have, for so long in their life, they have equated their worth and value with their service, right?
Right.
And so that's the only thing that they have, that little thread left in them, is the fact that they served. And oftentimes,
you think you're fed up with the VA?
Oh yeah,
imagine
man.
what they're. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
come
man.
on.
So that goes a long way with these guys. Find other veterans, shake their hand. You know, you don't have to stand there like I did for an hour-long conversation. But you know what? Hey, thank you for your service. I appreciate you paving the way for my generation. That will just completely make their day, their week, their month, man, for sure. Number 13, volunteer at a local VA. And again, we can sit there and poo-poo the VA and everything else, but you know what? You can either hop on that bandwagon and just be a Debbie Downer and just be what's wrong with the whole situation, or you can make a stand, make a decision. Now, if you are an action taker and you're willing to do 22 push-ups a day for 22 days to bring awareness, then you know what? That means you are enough of an action taker to do something outside of the norm of what the what the media is telling you. And hey folks, if you believe everything that the media is telling you about, granted, every organization is going to have their bad apples, right? A VA is no different. But if you hear one little thing about what happened with the VA, or one story that you heard on, Fox or CNN, and all of a sudden you've just blanketed every employee and every VA across the nation into that bucket, then you are naive and you're just an asshole. Period.
I mean, because it comes down to, the Army sucks. Every Marine in the world says that.
Yeah, right.
But does the Army suck? Seriously.
I don't think so.
No,
but I mean,
exactly.
I was in the Army.
So in turn, though, it's like you hear about one bad experience, or you have a bad experience,
and all of a sudden,
that doesn't mean every experience at the VA is going to be bad. I mean, you'll meet just as many, if not more, veterans that go to the VA for their health care that have had a wonderful experience.
Right.
But you don't hear those stories.
You don't hear those stories. You don't.
I do. Because I work there, because I am creating change from the inside.
Right.
Do you understand? You can't do it by standing on the mountaintop and yelling because people are sick of fucking hearing it.
So what are some different things that people could do to volunteer at a local
All right.
VA?
I mean, one of the easiest things, and one of the most, in my opinion, one of the coolest things is volunteering to bring veterans that don't to bring veterans to appointments that don't have a ride. They have DAV cars. They've got, different shuttle vans and whatnot, but that's all see, and here's the funny part is, I know guys, there's guys that are, usually retired or doing this type of stuff. Right. But you'll see the occasional young guy doing it.
Yeah.
And you go pick up a Korean War veteran that literally his whole family's dead. It's just him left. And the stories that you can get off of these guys are amazing. And if anyone deserves a ride to their VA appointment, it's that freaking guy.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? And if he can't do it, why can't you help him?
Right.
That's a way to help. And that's simple. 1 day a week. It's literally like a 4-hour shift. You can do all kinds of stuff. My 77-year-old grandmother, my wife's grandmother, every week volunteers at the VA. Why can't you?
Right.
I mean, if you have a job, I understand that, but there's times that you can mix that stuff in there. Figure it out, man. If it's important to you, figure it out and help create change from the inside.
Amen. Number 14, and this one's going to probably shock some people. When I was a squad leader, Bennett, I created for my team and my squad, I created a drunk card. I called it a drunk card, but you know what I mean. It had the name of my platoon sergeant, my name, the other squad leader, all the team chiefs' names and phone numbers were listed on the drunk card, along with CQ number, staff duty number, and I printed up enough copies and I laminated them and I passed them out to my squad, and they were it was an inspectable item. This goes back to being told to do, being everything you're being told to do in the military, right? And so my entire squad would have these drunk cards that they were required to keep in their wallet with them at all times, in and out of uniform. It was a requirement. And the whole point of this was, if you are out on the town and you have a few too many, the first thing you do before you get into your car is you pull out your drunk card and you start at the first number and you just keep on calling until somebody answers the phone. And as soon as somebody answers the phone, you say, here's where I'm at. I'm too drunk to drive. And whoever you call, regardless of the day or time, that person is then required to go and pick your ass up, and no questions asked, no ramifications, no backlash, no reprisals, no nothing. And it was a way to make change, because we were seeing drunk driving accidents soar to record numbers when I was in, and I can't change those numbers from an Army's perspective, but I can change those numbers from within my squad. Do what you can do with what you have. change the things that are within your influence to change, and don't worry about anything else. And I, as a senior squad leader, had it within my power to make that change, and that's exactly what I did. And I'll be honest, there was a few nights I got a phone call, and although I was pissed, my wife was pissed, but you know what? You know what I didn't have to do? I didn't have to stand in front of the sergeant major's desk answering questions as to why my guys were
rolls downhill.
You know what I mean? So I didn't have to go to the MP station and pick my guys up. I had to go pick them up, and the next day I had to drive him back to get his car. But you know what? I kept it in house, man, and I was very happy for it. And that goes back to number 14, and that is have information at your disposal. Like, how many guys know the suicide hotline 800 number? So if one of their buddies calls them up at 10 o'clock at night on Friday night and are talking about, they reach out to you and they say, man, I'm not feeling it, man. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm in a bad place. I mean, do you have those numbers at your disposal to be able to give to them right here, right now?
I do.
Or are you just going to say, I know you do, but are you going to say to your buddy that's like, staring at the barrel of his rifle saying, call the suicide hotline number, man, get some help? It's like, do you really think that guy's going to go on the Google machine and try to figure out what the Veteran Suicide Hotline 800 number is? No, man, they're not in the right place to be doing that. So, but if you have that information at your disposal to be able to offer to them some assistance, you don't need to have an entire, phone book worth of numbers in your wallet. But having 4 or 5 different outreach program phone numbers is probably a good idea. That's how you make a difference in suicide prevention. Okay.
Hey, if you need them, I've got Veterans Crisis Line cards.
Yep.
I've got Veterans Crisis Line bracelets. Because that's what we're talking about is suicide.
Right. Exactly.
And you know what? It's not a perfect service. It's not a perfect thing. You just like every other organization, you have that 10% rule, man. Mm-hmm. 10% of the people fucking suck. Let's be honest.
Right.
10% of the population just sucks.
And they did in the military too.
And they did in the military too. So you have it at every organization, at least 10% at minimum. You've got a 10% population of every organization that just sucks.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you call, people have had bad experiences, but usually the bad experiences are when they're being unreasonable themselves. When they like call the homeless hotline and they're like, yeah, I want you to give me a house. Mm-hmm. No, we can't do that.
Right.
But the VCL, the Veterans Crisis Line, if you have an issue and you call there and you just need to talk to somebody, they can provide that. Mm-hmm. Because sometimes that's all you need. And if you want help, they can provide that as well. Yep. It might not be the way that you want it done, but you won't kill yourself.
And I'll be honest with you, I've needed to know those numbers, not for myself. I've never needed to call those numbers myself, but I've needed that information on several occasions when I've had that random phone call in the middle of the night from some guys that I served with. Do you know what I mean?
I do.
So having those numbers, you need to have those numbers, not necessarily for you, but you need to have them readily disposable, readily available at your disposal, so you can help somebody out.
What I was getting at is that I have cards that you can put in your wallet, and I have wristbands with it right on there. You can go to almost any VA and get them too, but I would be more than happy to send you some.
All right.
If you contacted me.
So
I would be more than happy to send them. I even have bookmarks, dude. I mean, I got all kinds of stuff. So I'm just saying.
Leave a comment in the comment section for this episode, and we'll get in touch with you. And you just provide us with your address, and we will send you some of this stuff so you can have it.
Oh, and by the way, I'll just say it. It's 1-800-273-8255. Again, 1-800-273-8255, and press 1 because you're a veteran. All right, there it is.
Good. Number 15, create events for others to come together. Now, not that long ago, Range 15, which is a veteran created movie, came out. It was I don't know what the technical term was for it, but it didn't release in every theater. You had to have a certain number of people actually pre-register before they would actually show it at a theater. And somebody in my local New Hampshire area put together this event and promoted it, and I helped him promote it on social media, and we were able to get enough people sign up, pre-register essentially for the movie. And so we got the movie into a local theater here, and it was the only theater in New Hampshire that was playing the movie. And we all got together. There was like a before the movie kind of, we all went to like a local bar. We had some beers, then we went down the street a little ways to the movie. And then after the movie, we all went out for some more drinks. And so, granted, the movie was funny, but that wasn't the point. The point was we got together like, I don't know, 70, 80 veterans, all got with all six senses of humor, right? And we all got together and we just had a great time. And that goes a long way, man, in suicide prevention, is that camaraderie, pulling people together. So create those events. I'm not saying create that one specifically, but if there are things that you can do to pull and create events to bring people together, it's awesome. Number 16. Now, this one's a little different. You may never heard this one before. Leave an anonymous card or a note on the windshield of other veterans' vehicles. And you're like, what? So I don't know about you, Bennett, but in my car, I have a notebook and a pen that I carry around with me in my car everywhere I go. And I don't do this all the time, but on occasion, I will find a veteran's car, and maybe it's got to be like a car that resonates with me. They got like a first CAV sticker on their back windshield, right, or something, or Cross Cannons Field Artillery or something like that resonates with me.
You freaking fisters, I swear.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man. And I'll write a note. I'll be like, hey, man, I saw your stickers on the back of your car, and I just wanted to say I'm a fellow veteran, and thank you for your service. And if it weren't for veterans like you, we wouldn't live in this great free country that we do. And I stick it in the windshield of their car, and I drive away. And I don't know if they ever find it, if they read it, what they think of it. I don't know. I don't really care. That's not the point. But the point is, man, just doing something like that is going to uplift whoever reads it. And that might be that veteran's wife that found it. It might be it might be the mother of a veteran that's serving. It could be. It doesn't really matter who actually finds it and reads it, but it's going to make a difference. It's going to resonate with them. And that's how you make change, real difference. Do your push-ups and leave a note in the windshield. That's what we're saying here. Number 17. There's a great one. Vietnam Veteran Buddy Finder. It's a Facebook group specifically for Vietnam veterans to find their battle buddies, find their buddies. And I interviewed a gentleman on the show. I'll have the links to his episode. Actually, I did 2 episodes with him in the show notes page for this episode, and that he found a couple of his buddies through Vietnam Buddy Finder, and one of his buddies was under the impression that he was dead all the way since like 76 or something like that, and he saw him fly away on a helicopter, and his buddy went to the whatever aid station that he was supposed to be at, and the nurse had told him by mistake that he had passed. And so so Russ, the guy I interviewed, ended up finding his buddy on Vietnam Buddy Finder, called him up, and he tells the story in that episode, and it's incredible. He gets pretty emotional when he tells the story. But man, I'm telling you, making connections and finding your buddies. If you're a Vietnam veteran listening to this, check out Vietnam Veteran Buddy Finder. It's an incredible resource to be able to find the guys that you served with. And it's just about making those connections. Number 18 is meetups. Now, we kind of touched on this a little bit when I talked about mastermind groups, but there is an actual website. It's
meetup.com.
Meetup.com. You can type in your location. You can say, give me all the events in the 50-mile radius or 60-mile radius, however far you want to drive. And you can start typing in interests, things that you like, things that you're interested in, and it'll start returning all the different kinds of meetups in your group, in your area. And there are meetup groups for everything. And I do truly, honestly mean everything. Find a meetup.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on there. You'll get a kick on. You'll spend an hour just going through going, are you serious right now?
Hell yeah.
Like, there's
man.
like a group of 5 like people getting together and having like seances and I mean, just, oh God, like, I mean, it gets even weirder.
Yeah.
So
yeah, man.
Anyway. Or we get together and play like Dungeons and Dragons or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's groups that get together and they go hiking. They go to book clubs. They have
do yoga, do whatever.
Yeah, man.
You think it up, there's people doing that shit on there.
That's right. Yep. Number 19, start a business and hire at-risk veterans. You really want to make a difference? Boom, man. I'm telling you, there's a lot of at-risk veterans out there that are looking for somebody to take a chance on them. Why not you be the person to give them that opportunity? There's a lot.
Start a landscaping company.
There you go. Figure out how to drop trees.
Hire some veterans. Motherfuckers can mow lawns. They can rake. I know they can. They can police call. They can do freaking...
Police call like a muffin.
They can police call. You can freaking do landscaping.
Yeah, man. Number 20, volunteer to be a mentor. That's not an easy thing to do, but let me tell you, if you want to make an impact in somebody's life, find a veteran that is just separating from the military and say, hey, I've been out for 12 years now.
And I'm somewhat successful.
Yeah. I'm not a billionaire, but I can, I have a roof over my head. I've got a car that I drive. I've got a job that I go to every day.
Still married. My kids like me.
Yeah. I got a son in college. I got a daughter that's being homeschooled and she's getting, straight A's. Like, you're getting out of the military and you don't even know how to spell 401k. You need help. And I kind of make that a joke, but I'll be honest with you. I got out of the Army. I had no idea what a 401k was. No idea. I've heard of them. I didn't know what they were. I didn't know how they worked. I didn't know nothing about anything. And so be a mentor, volunteer to be a mentor.
So yeah, as a mentor, one thing I want to interject is people don't give themselves enough credit.
Right.
This is something that Eddie and I talk about a lot. And not just as military veterans and not just what you've done in the military, but what you do every day. People don't give themselves, what is success? I mean, people, when they hear mentor, I want like Richard Branson to be my mentor, or I want, people, all they think about is famous people or successful people like that. When in turn, you don't have to be a millionaire to be a mentor.
Right.
As long as you can offer one iota of guidance that's actionable, that's positive, and that would get a guy, it could be the difference between that veteran being homeless in 2 months or having a stable life. Mm-hmm. Then you can be a freaking mentor. I cannot stress that enough. Don't limit yourself. Don't do it. If you think that you have what it takes to just offer, if you were an NCO in the military, more than likely you have what it takes. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that you're successful, but if you can pay your bills and you don't have legal issues and you don't have freaking, 4 divorces under your belt and this, that, and the other thing, you could probably give some actionable, good, coachable information to a veteran that needs it.
Yep, that's right.
Don't limit yourself.
All right, we're getting closer to the end. Number 21, community garden. Explain to this, Bennett.
Okay, so community garden, one of my big this whole idea kind of just comes from the Veterans Healing Farm, which is a friend of mine in Hendersonville, North Carolina, named John Massey, came up with this concept, and it's really simple. It's not a new concept. It's not even his concept. I just use it because it's a good example. Literally, you could do it in your front yard. You could do it in your backyard. You could get you and a couple of veterans. It's just another way to bring us together. Or find a VFW or some kind of land where you literally only need enough room, 10 by 10 area to start with would be big enough, and plant a freaking garden. All right. And you guys figure out what you want to plant. And guess what? You're creating food for your family and that veteran's family. Or if it's just yourself, bring veterans together, cultivate, weed, do it all together. And it's another way to bring guys together. I mean, John runs out there the Veterans Healing Farm, just for example. He has 10 acres. It's not all used for farming, but a good portion of it is, okay? But literally, it's what they call community CSA, community service agriculture, something like that, CSA. And what they do is literally they have a couple dozen veterans, and they come in and plant these gardens. And these veterans basically from November or from like March to November, they have access to all the fruits and vegetables that they could ever want, as long as they put in their time to help cultivate that. Right. And then, so all these families are basically, they don't go to the grocery store to shop for vegetables. They go to the farm. Right. Okay. So number one, it helps you save money. It helps you cultivate community. You like how we bring that in there? Yeah. His cultivate community by cultivating crops, cultivating food. Okay. You do that. And then the overflow, they actually bag up and take it to the Asheville, North Carolina VA and hand out bags of produce to veterans leaving the VA for free. Wow. Because otherwise the food's going to go to waste, right? I mean, we waste like 40% of all the food produced and distributed in this nation gets thrown in the trash. Yep. What a travesty, 40%. And we have people homeless and starving on the street. So anyway, so you do that. It's just a way to come together again. And, man, pretty good stuff. Hell yeah. Period. Yep. So check it out. Veterans Healing Farm. Just type it into the old Google machine and it'll pop up.
Cool. Number 22, last but not least. And folks, if you are soft skinned, you may want to turn this off right now or plug your ears or something. But here goes. Stop being a victim. Okay? Quit being a little bitch, a little victim, and decide to be change in this world. And anyone can go on social media and bitch about everything. Anybody can go and complain about the VA. Trust me, right? We've got enough of that. Are you going to be just another one of those people? Or are you going to actually make a difference, make a positive change in the world? Now, I'm not saying that you don't have to. I'm not saying that you're not going to already. If you've got strong feelings, negative feelings about the military or the VA or civilians or civilian employers or whatever it is, if you're butthurt over something, then fine, stay butthurt over it, but keep it to your damn self, right? If you are interested, if you are serious about stopping or mitigating 22 veteran suicides a day, you're serious about it, then it starts with keeping your damn mouth shut about all the things that are wrong in this world and finding ways to actively participate and be a positive change in the lives of others. There are things that are greater in this world than yourself.
Because shit sucks everywhere, guys.
It does.
It doesn't get better on there is no greener grass, folks. I mean, that's such a freaking misnomer. The grass is greener on the other side, or, the analogy that I always used is that you're on one hill and you're sick and tired of being on that hill because that hill sucks. Basically because you probably sucked up all the resources on the hill. Right. But you see this other hill that's across this expanse of a valley, right? That's got lush greenery on top of it, right? And you just want to go there. And everything in between is this nice pasture. Just imagine like the Great Plains back in the day with the buffalo roaming, and everything looks so pristine and nice. But what's in that grass? There's snakes. There's unimaginable dangers from between point A and point B. Okay? So just what this comes down to is be grateful for what you have. Trust, gratitude, and forgiveness, folks. Okay? Trust in yourself and trust in those around you that you surround yourself. If you can trust those people, trust in other veterans that are putting a hand out to help you. Mm-hmm. Trust in them. Because if you don't have trust, you're just going to be living a life of shit in your own, wallowing in your own misery.
Yep.
If you don't start trusting people. And that starts with trusting yourself. Have gratitude for what you already have, what you already own, what you already are. Don't sit there and look at the Joneses that live across the street and go, oh man, I wish I had what they have. Look around what you've got, man. Mm-hmm. Take pride in what you are. Take pride in who you are. Take pride in what you've done, and take pride in what you can create.
That's
all right? Have gratitude. And then, most of all, have forgiveness. Forgive yourself. Forgive the VA. Forgive the people that have wronged you. Because if you don't move on, again, if you cannot forgive people that have done things to you, those people may not even realize, because perception's reality. They may not even realize that they've wronged you because you never told them. You never called them out. You never freaking did anything except for just wallow in your own anger. Mm-hmm. Forgive people. Forgive yourself. Forgive your wife. Forgive your kids. Forgive the guy that cut you off in traffic. Just forgive. And the last thing, have patience. That's a skill that we need in this world that we live in right now. Mm. And if you don't have patience, you're just going to be mad all the time.
That's right.
Have patience. Figure out a way to do it. Figure out a way to cultivate it, period.
All right, folks. That takes us to the end. We definitely ran over time. But real quick, a quick recap. 22 veterans a day. I love the 22 push-ups a day that everybody is out there doing to raise awareness. But my thing is do those push-ups and one of these other things. I guarantee you if you introduced one of these 22 things into your 22 push-ups a day, you'll be making that much greater of a difference and impact on the lives of veterans. To recap, number one, I'll go through these quickly. Number one, reach out to one of your buddies or make a list of between 5 and 10 buddies and make a commitment to reach out to them on a weekly basis in some form or fashion. Number two, find your best friend, your battle buddy, and take the Spartan Pledge with them. And again, all the links to everything I'm talking about will be in the show notes for this episode. Number three, invite your buddies to events like Vet Rocks that Bennett and I are going to be attending here next weekend. Actually, the day that this releases, we'll be there. Number four, attend networking events. It's a way to meet other veterans, offer some assistance that you may have, and get to know other veterans. Number five, Warrior Link-Ups. Either attend a Warrior Link-Up or start one in your area, and Bennett can show you exactly how to do that. Number six, reunions. Perhaps your guys have a annual reunion that they have planned, or perhaps there isn't one yet. Then you plan one, make one, and attend it. Number seven, Facebook groups. There are thousands, hundreds of thousands of Facebook groups out there, many of whom are veteran-centric. Find a couple, get engaged, start communicating with one another, and you'll find ways to add value to others. Number eight, mastermind groups. There are plenty of them. They're in person, they're online. It's great for accountability. It's great to have something on the calendar. Number nine, become a member of a veteran nonprofit board like Bennett and I are for Homefront Fishing. Number 10, join a veteran nonprofit team. Maybe you don't want to be a member of a board, but get involved. We got all kinds of non-veteran nonprofits or veteran nonprofit groups out there like Red, White, and Blue, and the list goes on and on. Number 11, the VFW or the Legion. Get involved. If you don't like the way that your local VFW or Legion is operating, change it within. Get involved. Become a member of one of their the officials or office leaders or whatever they call them. And make some difference, make some change. Number 12, find other veterans and shake their hand. You run into them everywhere. Reach your hand out. Thank you for your service. Thank you for paving the way for my ability to serve this country and for those that are coming after us even. Number 13, volunteer at your local VA. There are many things that you can do to make a positive change in this world, or you can just sit there and just bitch and cry and complain about how bad everything sucks. Your choice. Number 14, have information at your disposal, like the suicide hotline 800 number. People were going to call you. You need to be able to give them some assistance. If you can't help them directly, you should be able to at least point them in the right direction. Number 15, create events for others to come together. Like we created the event to attend that movie, and we got a bunch of veterans together. It was a great night. Number 16, leave an anonymous card on the windshield of other veterans. That's just one example. You can do this in many different ways, but find a way to reach out and just say thanks. Number 17, Vietnam Veteran Buddy Finder is a great Facebook group page for Vietnam veterans to reach out and find their buddies that they served with in the Vietnam War. Number 18, meetups. If you are interested in something, it doesn't matter what it is, I guarantee you there's going to be a meetup out there just for you. And if there isn't, you can create one. Very easy to do. Number 19, start a business and hire at-risk veterans. It's within your power. You can make it happen. Number 20, volunteer to be a mentor. Maybe you've been out of the military for some time now. You've finally figured some things out. There's guys that are getting out of the military every single day. They need some direction. They need some guidance because, yes, folks, that neat little meeting that they went to, that TAPS class that they attended, they're probably not going to get a whole lot of value out of that. Number 21, community garden. And again, Bennett talked about the Veteran Healing Farm. Go over and check it out. Figure out how you can start your own. And number 22, stop being a victim and start making a difference. And here's the thing. Do your push-ups. Pick one of these other things to do, and you're going to make a difference. But here's the kicker. If you don't want to do any of these things, if you don't want to do push-ups to raise awareness, you don't want to do any of these things that we suggested, fine. If you don't want to help, fine. But don't hurt either.
Correct. Don't be a troll.
That's it, man. So that's it. That wraps it up for this week's episode of Attack Friday. Actionable tips, tricks, and coachable knowledge. On that note, any last words, Bennett?
Attack life. It's going to kill you anyway.
Amen, brother. All right, folks, you can find all of the things that we talked about, the show notes page for this episode, by heading over to changeyourpov.com/episode 119. Never miss an episode. Hit subscribe on your podcast player of choice. We have a lot more great content headed your way. Come be part of our community over at Change Your POV Squad. That's where you'll find Bennett and I, past interview guests we've had on the show, and other folks are over there. And you know what? Just get involved. Do something. Get up off your ass and make a difference. If you want there to be change, sometimes you need to be that change. All right, folks, until next time.
Thanks for listening to Change Your POV podcast with Eddie Lazary. Check out more content by going to changeyourpov.com. And remember, your ability and willingness to change your point of view will open doors of opportunity.